Hey everyone, this is the prerequisite video for my financial freedom class. In the class, there are two major learning objectives. Number one, you will learn how to develop an effective and systematic paycheck routine so that you are intentional and strategic about your habits of saving, investing, spending, and giving. And number two, you will learn how to legally minimize your taxes. Now, before coming to class, I want you to complete these three prerequisites because I want you to come to class fully prepared to get the most value from the class. And so these three prerequisites will help you to be prepared to receive the most value from the class. Number one, I want you to watch this prerequisite video. Number two, I want you to complete the two prerequisite worksheets. And number three, I want you to send me any questions you have in advance. Now, the prerequisite worksheet number one is the monthly zero-based budget. Very important that you go through this and complete it. Worksheet number two is this target paycheck routine, right? And, just complete it to the best of your ability, right? But in the class, we will really go deep into this. Also, I want you to have at least a basic understanding regarding income taxes. One of the major keys for building financial wealth is learning how to minimize your income taxes. There are five tips I want to share with you about how to minimize your income taxes. Number one is this. It's super important to understand how taxes are calculated. The tax brackets are not based on your total income. The tax brackets are based on your taxable income. So the key to minimizing your income taxes is really about minimizing your taxable income. Now, let me share with you this chart, right? This here is the 2024 tax brackets and federal income tax rates. Now, there are 7 federal income tax brackets for 2024, and your tax rate is determined by your taxable income and your tax filing status. Let's go through an example. Let's say you are a single filing status, okay? And let's say that your taxable income is $50,000. Well, that $50,000 is not going to be taxed at just one tax rate. It's going to be split up, all right? For example, if it's $50,000 of taxable income, well, the first 11,600 is in that first tax bracket, which is the 10% tax bracket, right? So that first 11,600 is going to be taxed at 10%. And then the next 35,550 is in the second tax bracket, right? The 12% tax bracket. So that 35,550 will be taxed at 12%. And then what we have left over, right, is 2,850. So that 2,850 will be in that third tax bracket, which is the 22% tax bracket. So the 2,850 is taxed at 22%. So do you see how the whole 50,000 is not taxed at the same tax rate? It's split up into different tax brackets. This is why, we say it's a progressive tax system, right? And so that's how it splits up. That's how it splits up. So let me know if you have any questions on that. But okay, number two is this. Section 162A of the IRS tax code allows a deduction for all ordinary and necessary expenses paid or incurred during the taxable year in carrying on any trade or business. This is why I'm always encouraging people to have at least one side hustle, right? Because when you have a side hustle, the moment you start a business, a portion of your personal expenses can be reclassified as business expenses, right? Because you can write off all ordinary and necessary expenses paid or incurred during the taxable year in carrying on any trade or business. So you think about advertising expenses, car expenses, contract labor expenses, legal and professional services expenses, cell phone expense, training expense, etc. Right? Very, very big, big tax advantage when you have a side hustle. Number three, long-term capital gains are taxed at a much lower tax rate than short-term capital gains. In fact, short-term capital gains are taxed at as ordinary income, right? At the same tax rates as ordinary income. But long-term capital gains are taxed much lower. In fact, here's a chart that shows the 2024 long-term capital gains tax brackets for single filing status, and as well as married filing jointly and married filing separately and head of household, okay? So for example, if you're a single filing status, then that means if you make less, if your taxable income, if your total taxable income is less than 47,025, right? Then you don't have to pay any long-term capital gains tax. Is that cool? Right? And then if it falls within the tax bracket of, if your taxable income falls between 47,000, 26 to 518,900, right? Then your long-term capital gains tax is only 15%, right? So you see how there's a huge benefit, huge tax benefit for having long-term capital gains instead of short-term capital gains, right? And in the class, we'll go more into that. All right. What else? What else? Number four, retirement accounts. Retirement accounts. Retirement accounts can help you avoid a significant amount of taxes, right? With traditional IRAs, you delay paying any taxes until you withdraw funds from your account later in retirement. But with Roth IRAs, however, you pay taxes up front by contributing after tax dollars. And later in retirement, your withdrawals are tax free as long as your account has been open for at least 5 years, right? So in many situations, the Roth IRA is the better option, the Roth IRA, right? Because although you're not getting a tax benefit now, but the money in that account is growing tax free. And when you're in retirement, you're able to withdraw the money also tax free, right? So, but in class, we will go deeper into that, right? And then number five is an HSA, which is a health savings account. An HSA has a unique triple tax benefit. One, your contributions reduce your taxable income. Two, any investment growth within the account is tax free. And three, qualified withdrawals, right? Meaning, withdrawals that are used for medical expenses are also tax free, right? So they call it a triple tax benefit. All right. But again, we'll dig deeper into this during the class. But want to make sure that you do this prerequisite so that you're fully prepared to get the most value from the class. I'm super excited, especially because October is National Financial Planning Month. And so I'm super excited about the upcoming class, and I will see you soon.